Capricorn, welcome to your reading. I'm Empress Rose. These are general readings. We take what works, we leave what doesn't. If I don't catch a wavelength on this one, check your other major placements. I would particularly recommend rising signs. And let's see here. I'm starting off with the Oracle decks for an intuitive vibe of where we're going. And then we're going to move on to the Oracle Mystical, or the Tarot of Mystical Moments for a more traditional tarot spread. And if you haven't already, do click that subscribe button because it makes me happy. And it also helps other people find the channel. So anything else from Moonology? We're working with Moonology first. We've got one card, but no more. Anything else from Moonology? Okay. Then now we're going to move on to my latest one, Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Cullinane. It's a brand new deck. It's very easy to work with, but it's got really unique messages, lots of layers to these messages. So I may still want to refer to the book, as this deck just came out a couple weeks ago, so still just playing around with it. Anything else for Capricorn? Okay. Ooh. One of my favorite decks from Moonology. Step out of your comfort zone. Oh my gosh. That's why. This is the only card you needed. Okay, even the Urban Crow feeds straight into this. So let's talk about North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. If you haven't done any research on your North Node, I would highly recommend doing that because it's very eye-opening, especially if you're around middle age, about what a lot of, or maybe, wouldn't that be fascinating if I'd known all of that beforehand? That would have been interesting. But, you know, just about how you're going to change, how the way you interact with life needs to change as you grow older. And so there's like a different way of approaching certain issues that very naturally develops, but you also need to go with the flow and allow that part of yourself to develop in that way. So stepping out of your comfort zone, this is trying a new way of interacting with something in your life, a new way of doing something. Just try it. Just see what happens. My heater. Okay, just try it, see what happens. Trying different things and different ways of interacting with the issues that we face and especially the chronic issues that we face, trying something new, trying something different. It's going to feel weird, it's going to feel different, it might even feel wrong. And this is where like a therapist or somebody else can help you of like, no, it's actually not wrong to set boundaries. It feels weird. You might feel like you're doing something terrible, but you're really not. So, you know, if you're facing something like that. So this is experimenting, trying something else, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something that you don't usually do, but it's really part of your growth and it's part of your path here, part of your story arc, it's part of your growth arc. Here, it's very cool to understand and work with, you know, in which ways specifically are you destined to grow, do you need to grow, and it is going to be uncomfortable because it is going to be not the way you did things for the first 20, 30, 40 years of your life. We may think that a lot of these stages are just so natural and normal, even though we like stress about them and we think we have to change something. The changes just come naturally. So what else are we looking at here? With Urban Crow, we have survival and routine. So let's talk about routine first. Routine. I do not like routine, but most Capricorns I know absolutely adore routine, love routine, and thrive on routine. This talks about the dichotomy between two different types of routine. The rut, the way we've always done things, the way we've always seen this, the way we've always reacted to this situation, the thing we've always done, the rut, the thing that makes us feel dead, and it's just so easy to go through the motions, to just do the thing that we always do it in the way that we always have done it. Easy, but it's death. It's not a place of life. It's a dead place. Then we have routine. We have routine that we can structure to actually go towards our personal goals, our real goals. It's a routine that's supporting growth. This is a routine that's a rut. It's a grave. It's not, you know, when you're planting stuff, you can plant. You make a little ditch for your seeds, And this is like a grave, not a ditch. And this is like a ditch for the seeds. This is like a well-organized garden or something. This is a routine that supports life, that supports you going to your goals, heading towards your goals, heading towards what you want to grow, what you want to achieve. And you're going to have to switch up your routine. This is about, you've got some sort of routine, some sort of habitual way, and there's different kinds of routines. But so let's talk about habits maybe. You've got some sort of habitual way of interacting something which is just a dead-end rut, and there's no growth there. It's just how you do things over and over and over again. You're on autopilot and you're not really paying attention to it. This is switching that up for something that where you've got a goal, you've got where you want to grow, where you want to go, and now you've got a new way of doing things, that supports growth, that supports life. It's going to be, this is your comfort zone. This is not. They may look a little bit the same because they're like routine or some way that we do things, but they're totally different. I mean, just thinking about like routines with your body, you know, your routine might be to come home, have a drink, and sit on the couch for 2 hours. That is a fine routine for somebody. Probably for a Capricorn, I know, that would be a really life-giving, wonderful routine to get into. But for other people, that's exactly where they need to grow away from. So what if you came up with a different routine? Something else that you do right when you get home that actually helps you achieve your goals and head towards something that brings you alive and makes you feel good. So heading away from routines or heading away from habits that make us feel dead or deaden us, and heading towards habits and building habits and routines and ways of dealing things that are out of our comfort zone but are going to bring us alive and get us closer to being the people we want to be and living the lives we want to live. And then we have survival. And I think that this also really step out of your comfort zone. This is a crow crouched in one place, crouched, stiff. I can almost feel this crow stiff and crouched. And like, maybe if I just stay here in this one place forever, this fox will go away. I'm just going to stay here. So instead of trying to find a way out of the predicament, this crow is in survival mode and it's stuck, it's trapped, it's feeling trapped. There are other ways it could be dealing with this situation, but instead it's hunkered down and it's trapped and it's not exploring, it's not doing any of the crow things, any of the curiosity, the play, the exploration, any of that. Instead, it's just calcified its response into some sort of like it clenching on to survival, to safety, the sense of being safety. But what's less safe than safety, you know, than being stuck someplace? What's less alive than survival, right? Like that whole the survival instinct, the will to live, super important. But survival can so often get us down and crouched and in a tight little, unable to play, unable to experiment, unable to explore, unable to step out of its comfort zone. It thinks this survival, just surviving here, it thinks it's comfortable there. It thinks this is better than nothing. So this crow is staying here, is stuck in this situation, has itself trapped in this situation. Okay, okay, there's a predator there and it's trapping it. But there's also a sense where there's so many options, tapping into what makes a crow, tapping into its intelligence, its creativity, all sorts of things. But that would take a risk. That would be a risk that would be out of the safety zone, which is actually just like wait until I die zone. So there's some sort of place where you're stuck, where you need to come alive, and this is called stepping out of your comfort zone. Not just, however you've been dealing with the situation that's foremost on your mind, that this is reminding you most, it's time for you to play, to experiment, to use that big brain of yours, to try some other things, and it's going to be scary, and it's going to be out of your comfort zone. But instead of sitting here all week, trying to outweight this fox, why not outsmart the fox? Why not outplay the fox? Why not step out of that comfort zone? This looks comfortable. It's not. It's a prison. It might be a comfortable prison, but it's a prison. Man, those 3 cards hit a nerve with me. My goodness. I can feel that storyline in my bones. All right, Capricorn. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. This possible outcome is fascinating. I don't quite know what to do with it. All right, in your recent past, so this could be the same storyline or a different one. In your recent past, you have this death card. This big transition could be big storyline, big transition in your life. Something ended, something's over, something's done with, and from those ashes rises a new life, a new thing. From that compost, we grow the new flowers. This is about the recycling principles that exist in our universe of what is it? Matter cannot be destroyed, or something. One of those sciencey principles. I didn't grow up with science. I grew up in a non-science believing family, culture, subculture. And so I caught up, but still it's not very familiar to me. It's not my comfort zone. It's not my comfort zone. So anyway, death. So there's these, the stars, and they're all just recycled over and over and over again, right? So we're creating a new star out of the blown up bits from the last one, the supernova scraps from the last star. We're growing new things, a whole new bouquet, but it's coming from a place, maybe something did have you feeling empty, did have you feeling dead inside, but there's been some sort of major transformation. I mean, one of my favorite things is the butterfly. I mean, it is a very classic cliche symbol of transformation, but also that caterpillar, my goodness, that caterpillar is so brave. That caterpillar, goes and just instinctually makes this cocoon, and then goes into the cocoon, or makes the cocoon around it, and then turns to goo, turns to mush, turns to nothing. There's no order or sense in the way that caterpillar turns into a butterfly. I don't know how it happens. It does seem very magical, even though it is also very routine. Seems very magical. So here we have the brave caterpillar stepping out of its comfort zone, deciding to do something different, making a cocoon and turning to mush. And we have this rebirth. We have this new thing. And so this might be a whole new way of doing things, a whole new life, a whole new understanding of who you are, but big changes in your past, in your recent past. In your current situation, you have Ace of Swords. You have this epiphany, this new thing, this new idea, this new beginning of a thought, and there's been a lot of growth here. And this could be something, the suits, they cycle through, we cycle through them, right? So we're getting a new idea, but it could be a new idea about an old idea. It could be a new understanding, a new clarity. So this spiral always to me represents I got it on my ring too. Always represents, growth, hitting those same topics we always deal with, those same issues we always deal with. But every time we hit it again, hopefully we've grown, hopefully we've learned something, hopefully we're doing better, hopefully we have some understanding from the last time we hit this issue. And instead of sticking in a rut, we're able to handle it or do something different. So you might be hitting an issue again, but now you have a new understanding. You have a new idea on how to handle this, on how to deal with this, one of your themes for your life, for this lifetime. And there's some sort of epiphany, some sort of understanding here that unlocks something, opens something up, opens your mind up. So your mind's been opened up to something, a new possibility, possibly even a new way of doing something, a new habit, a new way of interacting with these same old problems and these same old issues that are gonna we all have them, they crop up. I feel like, yeah, we all have them. Most of us are aware of what issues we'll be thematically dealing with in this lifetime. By our 30s, by our midlife, and it's about time to switch. Once we realize it, it's about time to switch up how we interact with those issues. Trying something new, a different way to deal with it. In your hopes, your fears, this is clearly a hope. Page of Pentacles, you want something real. You want something new. You want to understand a new thing. It's very real, very much in reality. Look, she's prepared. She's prepared for this new thing. She's prepared to water her dream. She's prepared to water and care for the new thing. So Page of Pentacles, our pages are curious. They're learners. They're just starting to understand. You have two things here of just starting to understand. You have the Ace. That's the very beginning, the pure intention coming into your mind, the first flash of insight coming into your mind. And then in your hopes is this Page of Pentacles, hoping to really be able to, understanding how you can grow this thing, understanding how to approach something. And maybe this is new. This is you know, maybe hoping to get back into beginner mind, back into that curious mindset of, okay, how do I grow this business? Maybe I've grown a couple, but how do I grow this one? How do I make this relationship work? Okay, I've had a couple relationships, and maybe I want to try something different with this one. Maybe I want to do something different. Maybe I want to grow this new thing in my life, this tangible new pentacle thing, or in my life. How do I do that? So this is on your mind. This is your hope that you're hoping that you have a new thing. You might be hoping for a new job, a new relationship, hoping for that new thing, and maybe this time having more curiosity or really understanding a different way of interacting with that thing. You might have seen something, gotten some insight, understanding, and now you want to try it out on something. Try it out on the real world. Like, oh, relationships work like that. Oh, what was I thinking? Now I'd like a new relationship to try that out on. Something like that. So that's your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. What's the issue here? This isn't the reverse Knight of Wands. So our Knight of Wands in the upright is going to be fast-moving, brave, daring communication. In the reverse, we could have hesitancy, confusion, not moving forward, not listening to your intuition, not communicating, confused communication, not boldly moving forward towards something, but there's just a lot of confusion, a lot of back and forth, a lot of... like our Knight of Wands is usually a really fast-moving, fast communicator. I hear it, I speak it, I understand it, I speak it, I feel it, I speak it. A little bit rash and intuitive, but just really able to move with intuition. Kind of can be a little bit overly rash, but we're not getting that at all here. We're either getting someone that doesn't know what they want, someone that's having a hard time communicating with one, someone that doesn't believe what they want, someone that doesn't understand what they want or isn't in touch with their intuition or really isn't getting what's going on here. There's just a lot of confusion here, a lot of difficulty moving forward, talking about things. Just there's a hesitancy or a like, yeah, I want that, but do I want that? There's a double, what do you do that? When you doubt yourself, when you doubt yourself. There's doubting of yourself. There's knowing what you want and then like, oh, do I really want that? Or how do I really want that? Are you sure? I'm not sure about that. Maybe it's way out of your comfort zone and that's why you're like surprised and kind of confused on this intuitive hit that you're getting. So in your environment, you have another knight, but this knight and this knight actually have a lot in common, a little bit in common. Like they're not moving forward very quickly at all. This one wants to move forward in the upright, but it's having difficulty doing it. It could be the other person in the situation or some other part of the situation. These knights often represent people. So this could be someone who's very confused or very full of self-doubt. This is someone, this isn't you, this is somebody or the vibe of the situation, of another situation in your life. This is slow moving energy. This is growing the oak tree, slow as an oak tree, gonna grow, like they don't grow very fast. They're pretty slow, but getting grounded, having a plan, wanting to really have a plan down. Yeah, maybe we've got this new idea, this sort of springtime feeling of, okay, here's a plan, but let's like talk about it really slowly. So the situation could be just moving really slowly, very slow communication, we're not going quickly, but there's also a vision here, an idea. But maybe it's slow in developing that idea, slow in seeing the patterns here. But this is slow moving communication, slow moving energy. I think you guys have been getting this the last couple of weeks of something that's just moving frustratingly slowly. So that's part of what's going on in your environment. Either someone who's just moving very slowly, maybe they want to do it right, but it looks like there's some hesitancy here and some confusion here. They want to do it right, but they're not. Or maybe they are. They're doing it right, but it's frustratingly slow for everybody else. Slow communication, slow movement, not plodding movement, if any at all. So your to-do list is to stand up for what you believe in, stand up for what brings you alive, what gives you passion, fight for that, fight for the space to do that, fight for the freedom to do that, fight for the Seven of Wands is all about the will to, it is about the will to live, the will to survive, the will to not just survive, but to thrive. You know, normally this guy's normally in the Rider-Waite, he's up on a hill and he's defending himself. He's got the high ground. He's got the right to defend himself. He's got the right to preserve, but this has more life than this. This survival, it is standing up for what you believe in, being passionate about what you believe in, about what you want, and not backing down. So you're not backing down. So this isn't a do this or your life's going to suck. This is like you're going to have an opportunity here coming up to defend what you believe in, to go for what you believe in, to fight for what you believe in. You have the higher ground. You have the right. You have the passion, and you have the... I'm getting kind of an emperor vibe here. You've got the passion, and you've got the right idea. You have an inspired. You see this clearly. This has a lot of clarity and a lot of strength behind it. Behind this intuitive. Behind this, what you want. Fight for it. You know, stand up for what you believe in. It does go beyond survival. This may be uncomfortable for you to assert yourself in this way, to fight for what you want in this way. This may be a way that you haven't interacted with this type of thing before, really fighting for something that you want. Yeah. Then where you're going, a possible outcome or something to look out for in the future, we have the Seven of Swords. Oh, following the Seven of Wands. Fascinating. Conflict, difficulty, constraints. Seven of Swords. This could be a card about holding your cards close to your chest, this is, you know, she's a snake, but she's pretending to be flowers. And then the parents of the nest back here, she's stolen some eggs from the nest. That's the story going on here. These guys don't even see it because they just think, oh, look, there's a vine of flowers here. So looking out for sneaky behavior, looking out for lies, withholding, but it could also be you needing to withhold something, needing to withhold some behavior for something for your own safety and well-being, playing your cards close to your chest, not necessarily telling everybody what you're doing, not announcing your presence. You know, is it your fault these guys aren't paying any attention? I don't know. So, you know, you could end up on either side of this, either needing to camouflage, needing to lie low, needing to be a little bit sneaky as you fight for what you believe in and what you want, or clever. You know, this could be clever. Is this snake an asshole, or is this snake cleverly feeding herself? I don't know, right? So there's, but you could also be needing to watch out for some deception from other people, you know, that have their best interests at heart, not yours. So, yeah. So that's a warning of something to look out for. I wish it came with a name and a number and a lot more specificity about who is this and what are they doing and when did they do that and what is the truth and what's actually going on here. So there may just be, you may not be seeing something very clearly in the future. There may be someone trying to get away with something. But, you know, keep an eye on your stuff, keep an eye on your priorities and, I mean, both of these together talk to me about having your best interests at heart and making sure that you are having your best interests at heart, whatever character you identify with that in that situation. Okay, all right, Capricorn, I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope you have a great week.